What's going on, everyone? Daniel Rodriguez here. It's time to review another movie. Today I'm going to be reviewing Neighbors 2 Sorority Rising, which stars Seth Rogen, Zac Efron, Rose Byrne, Chloe Grace Moretz, and a bunch of more actors and actresses, Ike Barinholtz, Lisa Kudrow, a lot more, man. Original cast from Neighbors 1, of course, Dave Franco, Christopher Mintz-Plasse, and then the new characters. You got the old fraternity, and then you got the new sorority coming back in, baby. So really, really awesome. I saw this movie Monday, and about 2 hours before I went to go see it in the theaters, I rewatched Neighbors 1, which I haven't seen that movie since 2014, since it came out. It was really refreshing. It was great to see it again, and it made Neighbors 2, it made a lot more like, okay, that person's back, hey, I got that nod, the opening's sort of similar, you know what I mean? Like, I got all of it, so I'm glad I ended up seeing Neighbors 1 before seeing Neighbors 2. That's just, it's great to refresh the brain. Either way, this is a non-spoiler review. I will not spoil nothing for you guys. I'm just going to give you the pros, the good stuff, the cons, the bad stuff, give you my final score, tell you whether or not you should go check this out in theaters, wait for rental, or maybe just never see this movie at all. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this movie, of course, like I said, directed by Nicholas Stoller and has an estimated budget of $35 million. This is my non-spoiler review for Neighbors 2 Sorority Rising. Starting off with the pros, Zac Efron and Seth Rogen, their chemistry together works so well, man, and it was amazing, the first movie, on how their characters, because I love every character in the Neighbors universe, or at least the main characters, man. They're likable, they're enjoyable, and now that it's against the Neighbors versus the sorority in this movie, of course Zac Efron comes and helps out a little bit, and it's really cool because Zac Efron outshines Seth Rogen at times, and then Seth Rogen outshines Zac Efron at times, and it goes balanced very well on their jokes. Zac Efron, I mean, then again, just like their chemistry together works out so well, and they're definitely the two best parts out of the episode. Rose Byrne's amazing in this film. Ike Barinholtz is fantastic in this film. Definitely a bigger role than the first movie. But Rose Byrne, let me tell you, she's getting a little older, man. Little marks every now. Like, I don't think it's makeup. I mean, she's just getting older in general. And she's just getting more beautiful in age, man. Like, more beautiful. She's not even decreasing. Like, Rose Byrne's a beauty, and I love her character in Neighbors 1, Neighbors 2, definitely for sure. As Seth Rogen's wife, she's awesome. She's a really cool character. What they did with her this film, just more awesome. I mean, every character in this film has their own little thing going on, and even when Dave Franco's on screen, he steals the show too, because what they do with this character was something that I didn't see coming, and a lot of the twists in this movie do get me at times. My favorite scene out of this whole movie was, all I'll say is the tailgate scene. The way it was directed, the way that it was filmed, the way that it was acted out, and the way it was scripted was definitely just... you look out for the tailgate scene. If you see the film, the tailgate scene is one of the most funniest scenes I've seen for a comedy movie over the past decade. It's a funny film, and of course, as comedy, you want to get your money's worth, man. You're putting. I paid what, $6 to see this movie. Did I get my comedy fill? I did. Now, Neighbors 1 is still better to me, but that doesn't mean Neighbors 2 is a horrible film. It's right up there with Neighbors 1. It's like grinding on each other. It's a little grinding, a little there, a little nasty there, but it's still a funny film, man. The comedy's still there, top notch. I laugh. I'm a big Seth Rogen fan, but that doesn't mean every Seth Rogen film. It doesn't mean I give it an A+. No. But I enjoy Seth Rogen. He's one of my favorite comedians out there, man. And yes, there are dick jokes, there's weed jokes, there's a lot of jokes in here, a lot of nasty things that senior citizens won't like. But still, it was funny to me. I mean, the original cast coming back, and then the new cast, of course, Chloe Grace Moretz and a few other new actors and actresses. So it worked out very well at the end with the new cast, and then, of course, having just the chemistry. Like, all the chemistry's there. It's like literally, because remember, they filmed this like way back in 2013, and then the Neighbors 1 in 2013, and then it released in 2014, and then this film filmed in 2015 and now 2016. What I'm saying is, they got right back to their characters. Like, I didn't see Seth Rogen, or no, I saw the characters. I saw, maybe because I just saw Neighbors 1 2 hours before I saw the film, but they literally were the same characters again, and it was so perfect to see them. I need to see more of these characters in this Neighbors world. Now on to the cons. I enjoy Chloe Grace Moretz. I think she is a good actress. I enjoyed her in The Equalizer and in Kick-Ass as well. I mean, she really is a good actress. But in this film, she was weak. She's good in some parts, but 85% of the role, or 85% of the movie when she's on the screen, it's weak. It's a weak performance. She could have done better. And I get her character. I get the way her character is written. But just her acting in general, like, I don't know what happened when they were filming this, but it just felt weak. It didn't feel like enough, it didn't feel there. It just kind of like, I don't know, she was weak. That's all I could say. That's basically the word I could say. She was weak during her acting in the film. It just wasn't, like, I just want to go back to, like, honestly, and there's a message about sexism in here and in the movie, and it's right in your face, and I get it. Girl power. Hey, girls are better than guys. Yeah, definitely, for sure. I agree, because without the women, the world's not going to be going around, you know what I'm saying? Like, women do have a lot of power. I get it. Girl power, indeed. Yes, indeed. But when it's right in my face, every 5 minutes of the movie, like, oh, we should have a party, but we don't need, the girls taking off their shirts and being topless. And I understand that, but Jesus, stop throwing the sexism, like the message in my face every 5 minutes. I understand. It's like, and I understand movies sometimes have messages, but when it's every 5-10 minutes, every time Chloe Grace, she's on the screen talking about, like, that's sexist or something, or like, we have the power, we're girls, we can do whatever we want. Like, I understand. And they're like, we don't have to give ourselves up to that guy. We don't have to take off our shirt for him. I understand, but then again, I mean, it's not going to change much. It's 2016, and you know how the world is, how teenagers are and everything. So, still, I understand, girl power all the way, but still, the message is in my face. And it doesn't ruin the movie. I'm not saying definitely watch the damn movie. It's a really good movie. But she is weak at times. She is weak during the film, just her acting skills in general for this film. Just that role. But she's still funny at times, but it's just weak, her character. And the characters around her, the sorority girls, some girls were not even explained. Like, you have her two friends, and then there's a few other girls that are like backup and they have dialogue every now and then. There's no description for them. Like, you don't know their names, you don't know, at least with Zac Efron and them, and like in the first movie, you knew more of his friends, or you knew, besides Dave Franco and you had other characters to look at, and you knew sort of their name, Ass Juice and all that. Like, you had other people, which is why I'm saying I enjoyed this movie. I think it's a good movie, but Neighbors 1, like the fraternity versus Neighbors, was better than the sorority versus Neighbors. Like, it was just more fun seeing the fraternity go after the Neighbors instead of the sorority go after Neighbors. And I'm not being sexist just because they're girls. Not for that. I just enjoyed the fraternity more against the Neighbors. It was just a little bit more entertaining, a little bit more enjoyable, a little bit more funny. As well as, God, Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne are bad parents in this movie. I mean, they're like, we're good parents. And it's a film, but seriously, they're not good parents. They're not. They're like, the kid, I don't know whether it was the kid actress that was going on, or the writing, but they tried to implement their daughter into the film and everything as much as they could. And, like, she was so quiet during the film, and it was like, well, are you trying to win me with your cuteness, little woman? No, like, it didn't work out for me with the whole kid. And like, she's older now, where she looks like it's been like 4 years or something. She looks like she's 5 or 6 years old, but you know what I mean. Like, it just didn't work out that well with the whole daughter storyline. And I understand, but still, it was slow. That slow little pacing there every now and then for those scenes with the daughter. The first act and the third act were probably the most slow moments out of the episode. The first act and third act of the movie were probably the most slow-paced parts or scenes out of the movie, which I'm not saying they weren't entertaining. There were funny jokes in there. It was entertaining at times. But the first maybe 30 minutes and then the last 30 minutes of the movie, or 40 minutes of the movie, is where it just sort of little slowed down in the pacing, and it kind of didn't keep that beat there that it was, trying to, what Neighbors 1 definitely had. So, the first act and third act are the slow points, but doesn't mean they're not enjoyable. But it did take me at least a good 25 minutes to get into the film. I laughed at jokes, but it took me a while just to get into the film and get into the pacing and where they're going at for the film. Overall, I'm going to give Neighbors 2 Sorority Rising a 7.5 out of a 10. I thought it was a good film. It's a good film. It's not a great film, but it's not a bad sequel, because you know how comedy sequels are usually bad. Zoolander 2. This film to me it doesn't feel like it's a cash grab. Let's get their money. They love Neighbors 1. Let's give them Neighbors 2. Let's write a ridiculous story. It felt like it was part of the universe. It felt like it happened naturally. It didn't feel forced. It was a very enjoyable, entertaining comedy movie. Yeah, there's problems with it, but it's not going to ruin the experience. I say go watch it in the theaters, man. If you want a good laugh, you want to take your boyfriend out, you want to take your girlfriend out, you want to take your wife out or your husband out for a date, you want a good comedy, Neighbors 2 Sorority Rising. Have you laughing most of the time, man. As I said, it's right there with Neighbors 1. So if you enjoyed Neighbors 1, you're most likely going to enjoy Neighbors 2 right there. It's grinding right there, grinding. 7.5 out of 10, definitely. I could see myself buying this on DVD one day, because usually DVDs are now like $12, $13. Like, they're not even like $18. That's like more Blu-ray and everything. So I definitely see myself, because since I own Neighbors 1, I'll buy this on DVD for sure. I want to see it again, but I want to see it in my home. I want to be comfortable. I want to sit down in my chair and relax and see Neighbors 2. That's what I want, man. But until then, I gotta wait like 5 months for DVD either way. But 7.5 out of 10, really good movie, guys. Make sure to comment down below to me what you guys thought about Neighbors 2, whether you're gonna go see it now. Thanks a lot again for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and share the video. Also, like my Facebook page down below if you feel like it. If you enjoyed the review, you want to see more reviews coming up, like the Angry Birds movie, X-Men Apocalypse, and The Nice Guy, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Until next time, bye-bye.